Welcome to our continuing taco series, focusing around creating authentic taco dishes in your own kitchen. Well, as authentic as an Australian can do with the knowledge I've learned from books, TV and the internet. Types of tacos that you may have never even heard of, at least the ones that I didn't know of until I started doing a deep dive into the exciting world of spices, contrasting textures and flavour combinations. The most common tortilla you'll see on the other side of the Pacific is corn, but masa is hard to get your hands on here, so I learned doing fresh tortillas with flour. Making fresh flour tortillas compared to using store-bought is without a doubt 100 times better. It turns a simple vessel for your filling into a key ingredient for your eating experience. It's fluffy, chewy, and has this nutty, bready smell and flavour after you've cooked it. The only drawback is that you want to buy a tortilla press and a cast iron pan for this. My press was about $30 and so was my cast iron pan. But once you've paid that outlay, you have dirt cheap, amazing tasting tortillas forever essentially. Mix all your dry ingredients in a bowl. All the amounts will be in the description so you can screenshot them later. Add your fat. This can be vegetable shortening, pork fat, bacon fat, or what I'm using right now, which is vegetable oil. I've done some experimentation and I've found there's not a lot of difference with the taste of either. Mix with a fork, then move to your fingers using a pinching action to thoroughly combine. You'll be looking for a gritty, mealy texture. Once that is done, add 95 to 100 ml of warm water. This is how we form the dough. Once again, with a fork, then dump onto a floured surface and knead. We're trying to avoid developing too many gluten strands, so we don't want to knead it for any longer than necessary. You can make this ahead of time, just whack it in a bowl with a damp paper towel, but I wouldn't let it rest any longer than 30 minutes. I prefer to make this straight away and wrap it up in alfoil ahead of time so I can reheat the cooked tortillas when we're ready to eat. This amount will make 8 street taco sized tortillas. Just roll it into a big sausage, cut in half, and cut those halves in half, and so on until you have 8. Roll them roughly into balls and put on a plate, covered with a damp paper towel until your pan is hot and good to go. Heat up a dry pan. You can use a non-stick pan, but I would suggest to upgrade to a cast iron pan as soon as you can. You want this pan to be quite hot, and apparently making a non-stick pan that hot will damage it and release carcinogenic chemicals into the food. Get your sandwich bag and cut the sides so you can use it as a barrier between the tortilla and the press. Press it firmly the first time, then rotate it 180 degrees and press it again. Peel it off the Ziploc bag and place it on the pan for 30 to 60 seconds. You will learn through trial and error when it's ready to flip and cook for another 30 to 60 seconds. While it's cooking, start preparing the next tortilla in the press. So when you remove the cooked tortillas, you can place the new one on straight away. This is one of the most important parts of the cook. Once you remove it off the pan, the tortilla is firm, brittle, and will likely split and break when you fold it. You need to cover it with either a tea towel or alfoil. so it can steam and get soft and malleable. I like to use alfoil because after you've finished, you can wrap it shut and you have a neat sealed package of fresh, delicious tortillas. If you're reheating them from cold, you can put them in the oven. But what I usually like to do is wrap them in paper towel and microwave for 30 seconds, usually 3 or 4 at a time. This will, without a doubt, drastically upgrade your taco experience. It's a little bit of work, but once you do it a few times, it's really no effort at all. You now have the most important ingredients to amazing tacos at your disposal. A fresh, bright red salsa and chewy, floppy flour tortillas bursting with texture and flavor. In my next few videos will be the meats and the accompanying ingredients to each different taco.